All right, folks, I just muted everybody too. We're going to get started here. So if you want to ask a question, hit *6. We have a small group today. It's just me. So I'm going through some points about what I think you need to be focused on in today's market to be successful, which hasn't changed much. I got a few little different twists in here, but so once again, ask questions, jump in. Don't be afraid to share and anything else, because like I said, there's only a few of us on here today. All right, so blend traditional methods with modern technology. I think that's such a big point today. Blend traditional methods. Now, traditional methods, what's that? Talking to people, door knocking, having an open house and keeping everybody's information. I'm shocked at how when people are newer, get in my coaching and I ask them, how was the open house? Great. How many people showed up? 7. How many people did you get names of? None. I don't understand that. Anybody that comes to an open house, make sure they sign in, make sure you're getting all the information. You have so many tools, the VAC, QR codes, you can use Mobility RE. There's so many ways to get people's information. You need to become more of a salesperson every day. I think we all do. Now, when people hear salespeople, they think obnoxious. That's not what I'm talking about. Salespeople ask questions, they service, they help. Like Elon Musk, I think is probably one of the best salespeople on the planet today. I think he kind of, Steve Jobs before him. They just ask a lot of questions. They solve a lot of problems. That's what salespeople do. I'm sure Elon Musk is smart. I read a book about him. He's very smart, but he's also a great salesperson. He knows how to talk and what to ask and so forth. And he's one of those people that you either love him or hate him. But definitely, Tesla's a beautiful car. So anyway, some of the stuff the guy's done is amazing, but he ultimately, he's a salesperson when it comes down to it. Same with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a salesperson. Okay. So, this morning I did my video, and I have to remind myself of this all the time. A gentleman named, Zig Ziglar. My favorite term by Zig Ziglar is, are you a wandering generality or a meaningful specific? That's such a great question to ask yourself every day. All of us need to become more and more of a meaningful specific. Some of you already have it down, you're really good. But most of us need to crank it up a notch. And even if we get a little bit better, like 1% every day, that's a lot at the end of the year. And after 5 years, it's ballistic how much it's like compound interest. When you save money, and you have a decent amount in there, and the market goes up 5-10%, you get the more you have in there, the more return. It's the same thing with momentum with your business. The more momentum you've created, the more return you get. For a lot of agents, once they get up and running, they rely solely on their sphere. Now, that's not bad. It's kind of like, I earned it. I guess it depends what your goals are. I never did that. I always wanted to create new business every day, because once you get in the habit of doing it and see how well it works, I think it's great to continue it. All right, so now traditional methods. We talked a lot about that with modern technology today. Like when people come to your open house, you can use the QR codes. You can use Mobility RE. You also can load them up in the VAC, make sure they're getting stuff from you. You can, like the neighborhood report, the newsletters. Make sure everybody you talk to, everybody in your phone, like when you join my coaching, the first thing I tell you to do is, if you don't have everybody in your phone loaded up in our CRM, which is called the Virtual Agent Center, and getting drips from you, really you're out of your mind. You're not acting like a business person. You're really not. You're not taking everything advantage. People, I have people complain on my coaching all the time. The market's not good. I go, well, are you making your contacts every day? No. Well, how can you say the market's bad if you're not doing what you're supposed to? The market isn't supposed to carry you. Right? The market, interest rates coming down is great. We have appreciation. The market's been pretty good for years, but it doesn't do you any good if you're not taking advantage of it. It's your job to take advantage of it. You have to work. Like, you don't get in shape by thinking about it. You get in shape by working out. You don't lose weight by thinking about eating less. You lose weight by eating less. So you have to understand that, I like to make things really simple for my brain. Like when I wanted to lose weight, I told myself, I'm going to be uncomfortable. Okay, so pick you're uncomfortable. I'm going to be uncomfortable because I eat too much, and I even the way I used to breathe, I was like, it doesn't feel good to be overweight and be full all the time. It really doesn't. Or you're going to be a little hungry once in a while, but thin. Which one's better? You're going to be a little, you might as well be frustrated in the direction you want to go. Like working, being frustrated, not being able to pay your bills is a whole different frustration than, oh my God, I got these listing appointments I got to prepare for. That's a whole different level of frustration. I would call it one's distress and one's just normal stress that you need, to have a great real estate career, great life, I would say. If you're not under stress, you're dead. Okay, that's it. You're always going to be a little, the question is, are you going to create good stress for yourself, or are you going to create distress for yourself, which is by non-action, beating yourself up? That's such a bad place to be. Because I remember what it was like. When you come up with excuses rather than just take the actions, you're always going to beat yourself up. And some people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth, because if you're taking the right actions, within no time, you're getting the results. Okay, once again now, remember you can hit *6 to unmute yourself, ask a question, interject, don't be shy. So right now we're talking about blending traditional methods with today's modern technology, which I think is, to me, look, the grassroots stuff never goes away. You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to talk to people. If you guys want to hear how to have quality conversations, just go to my YouTube channel. Okay, what the hell, subscribe while you're there. And then listen to a video I did years ago called Having Quality Conversations. I have a lot of videos on there. They're all titled. So whatever you're looking to work on, I have a video on there, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so there you go. Any questions about blending traditional with modern technology? Anybody out there, hit *6 and we can hear you. Okay, no questions, I'll move on, but you can do that at every time. Okay, so the next one is leverage your digital marketing and social media. What does that mean? Okay, well, first off, all your digital media should be extremely good looking, meaning your pictures of your properties, all of that. I would have professional photos, Doug, because remember, you're not just listing and selling this home. You're creating a digital footprint for yourself, a resume. People are going to be looking at you all the time. See, this is going to sound kind of crazy. Your pictures should be super professional. Your videos should be live and, not perfect. I know it sounds crazy, right? Because when you're doing a video, you're using your phone. You're on the video. It's, the audio's good, but it's not perfect in the video. You're going to make mistakes. Just keep talking. Correct yourself. Keep going. The videos they want to see live and raw, but the properties and everything in your marketing should be crisp, clean. Use the stuff that we have in the VAC, and we have a whole bunch of new goodies in there too, for you guys to use. I would definitely use that. The studio. There's so many good things in there. Just get in there and check it out. So, and your social media. So look at blending traditional methods. I'm talking to people every day. I find somebody who is thinking about moving now and in their future, and I load them up in the VAC. They're getting a neighborhood report from me. They're getting a newsletter from me. Then I'm going to immediately go to Facebook, Instagram. Well, that sounds like a lot of work. Guys, if you're going to be successful in real estate, it's a lot of work, but it's a very fulfilling job because you make a lot of money per transactions, right? And it's your business. This is your business. You're not an employee. You're a solo entrepreneur. You're a business for yourself, but not by yourself. With this company, we're here to help you. So my favorites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. Okay? Those are the ones I use. I do the same exact video for all 6. I don't change anything. I throw it on there. I do one a day, 5 days a week. Not that complicated, folks. All right? And so I'm prospecting in my farm. I get somebody, or I'm calling around one of my listings in sales, or I'm talking to an old expired or a new expired. I'm talking to a FSBO. Everybody gets loaded in the VAC. All right? I like neighborhood reports. I also like the newsletter. I'm going to spread them out by 2 weeks. Get my, newsletter on the 1st. Get my market report. My neighborhood report on the 15th. Okay, and then they're also going to see me because I'm going to be doing videos on social media. Okay, I'm going to be doing other stuff on social media, but I think the videos are what really tie you down to people. Because remember, your voice, your facial expressions, your tonality, all of that is how they become attracted to you, or not. And either one's okay. You're not going to make everybody happy. You just can't do it. When you try is when you really screw yourself. Be yourself. Automatically, about half the planet will love you, and automatically half the other planet will go in the other direction. But who cares? It's good to know right up front, because some will stick, some won't. Just the way it is, right? It's a numbers game. All right. So leverage your digital marketing and social media. Definitely. Enhance your listing presentation and your buyer presentation. Okay. I think that's kind of important. Like, what do you present to a seller? What do you present to a buyer? All right. So lately, we've had to come up with more and more of a buyer appointment, which I think is great. Everybody's your client now. And if you don't get what that means, I don't think you're paying attention. That means everybody you work with now, you have a contract with. If it's a listing, we've always done it that way. You can't put it in MLS. They can't list with somebody else. They can't, right? Buyers, they sign with you now. Okay, not only is it better for them, but it's also better for you, because now you guys are on the same team. You've committed to each other. All right, so if you're still fighting that one, get over it, because it's you can't. I mean, you're going to get fined if you do anything about that. So, and obviously we don't promote anything like that. We follow the rules here at Berkshire Hathaway. All right, so there you go. Enhance your listing presentations and your buyer presentations. Number 4 on my list is build and nurture relationships. You know, this business is all about relationships. If it wasn't for relationships, we wouldn't be here. And that's why people still pay you. You know, this is a small percentage of the planet that will go on the MLS on the internet, find a property and buy it. But 99% of people want to talk to somebody. It's an expensive transaction. They want somebody in charge, especially somebody knowledgeable. That's the key. Knowledgeable. All right. So do your homework. Okay, do your homework. But if you, once again, go back to my YouTube channel, watch Having Quality Conversations, because I think building and nurture relationships is very important. It was not, okay, I'll be honest, it was not something I was good at first. I was good at talking. I wasn't good at listening. And you can't have a relationship unless you listen at least as much as you talk. And I recommend, since you're the agent, even more. The 50-50 rule, always remember that. Do 50% or less of the talking. You want them to do at least 50% of the talking. As a matter of fact, if you can get them up to 60 or 70%, like if you're working with somebody and they do 70% of the talking and you do 30%, that's a situation you're always going to come up on top, because you're listening more than you're talking. They can't help but be attracted to you and want to work with you because you are interested in them. All right? So appear to be interested. It's always better if you are. To remember that. And that's how you do that, by asking a lot of questions, listening, digging deep, taking great notes. Okay? Number 5 on my list is stay informed and educated. I mean, once again, there's never been a time in the history of mankind where it's easier to stay informed and educated. I'm not talking about the news, that toxic crap they play 24/7. That's not accurate, most of it anyway. You just look at the headlines. I mean, on my computer, if I want to be entertained, there's a little tab at the bottom here. I can look at the headlines, and some of them actually make me laugh. Okay, it's ridiculous what's going on in the world today. Some of it's funny, some of it's not funny. And a lot of it isn't true. Just because they're journalists, I mean, a lot of them aren't even journalists, they're activists. Really, it's terrible. Okay, so why would you ever, instead of watching or listening to that crap, watch, good videos on YouTube, or how about an audiobook or 2 or 3? I know I'm going on a trip. I just bought myself a really nice book. I wish I could remember the name of it. I picked it out. I actually spend time researching it now, because I've been listening to so many audiobooks and reading so many books. I don't want to read the crappy ones or listen to them. I don't want to waste my time. Sometimes I make a mistake, buy an audiobook. I listen to an hour or 2 of it. Done. It's too, it's non-educational. It's too opinionated. right? So I just move on. I go to the next one. And I have probably about 30 or 40 books that I listen to all the time. I like listening to books. I love music. Don't get me wrong. I write it and play it. But when I'm working out, I'm listening to great audiobooks because I listen to a woman. I think she's she's a psychologist, and she's some kind of doctor. I can't even think of her name right now, but she said working out and reading good stuff every day or listening to it is like taking a little Prozac and a little Ritalin, right? Makes you a little positive and gets you a little focused. Now, except naturally, because you're releasing those, chemicals, hormones into your system naturally, right? That by working out, which is probably one of the best things you can do for yourself physically and mentally, and then listening or reading, same thing for your mind, right? And then you get right into the meditation and all that stuff, which is absolutely fabulous. Okay, but when I'm on a plane or away, I don't listen, I read. I'd rather, time crunch wise, it's easier to listen while I'm working, but when I'm on vacation, I read. I like to read because it's, engages other things than just listening. All right, so and I got a crazy book because it's a put together essay of incredible people like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett. It's I can't think of the name of the book, but it's like somebody's. The book has like 6 or 7 very famous, successful people and what they're all about. So it's like 6 or 7 little essays in one big book, and that's what I'm doing on vacation. I love reading that kind of stuff. I think I've read 2 novels in my life, and they were both on vacation. It's just not my thing. I would rather read about history and what happened. And like right now, I'm also listening to I just finished another book on how the world and the universe was created and our earth and how it works. To me, it's completely interesting. I love it. I think it's great. Same with the stock market and how economies across the world and, how things work and when countries change from one kind of government to another and what happens and all that kind of stuff. And it's pretty amazing. That's why it's one of the things that makes this country the best. The way we're run is what separates us. And hopefully we keep it going that way. Although I wonder some days with some of these things that come out of some of these politicians' mouth. Right? So we'll see. So far, so good. All right. So there you go. Blend traditional methods with current technology. Right? Do the grassroots stuff, but then you can follow up with them to infinite by setting them up on things that do it by itself once a month. When I started the business, some of the stuff that we have today, it wasn't even in my thought process. Like to pick up my cell phone, which is not, why do we even call it a phone? How many times, I'm using it as a phone right now, but it's a computer. It's my bank account. It's all my social media. It's everything. I actually can communicate by texting and emailing without even typing. I can just talk to my phone. Like when I was a kid, that was like Star Trek stuff. No one thought that would happen in our lifetime. Why would I ever type an email again when I could just talk it and send it from my phone? It's crazy, right? And when I started the business, I had a 1 through 31 accordion file, right? And I had to talk to them or snail mail them. Now they get incredible email drips that's unbelievably marked. So take advantage of that stuff, but don't forget you need to communicate with them up front to get them into your pipeline. Okay, leveraging your digital media, make sure everything is crisp and good. And then I would say, except for your videos. Your videos you want to be raw and live, right? But use that stuff. Make sure you're connected with everybody. If they're getting a neighborhood report from you or a newsletter or both, you should be connected with them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whichever ones you're using. I already gave you my 6. All right? Work on your listing presentation. Practice it, get better. Work on your buyer presentation. Practice it, get better. They're spending a lot of money on you. All right? This change has just made it better for the professional. You guys are all professionals. All right? Build and nurture relationships. Talk to people in a way, and we all know what that is. I'll give you a brief. Okay. Open-ended questions. Repeat, approve, ask the next question. Dig deep. When I'm on the phone with people, I just pretend I know them. Like I went to high school with everybody I'm going to talk to today. That's my mantra in my head. Do I know you? I love when people used to ask me that. To me, that was like, you're doing it right. If they ask you, do I know you? You've made them feel comfortable. Like, why am I not putting together who this person is? I should know this person. To me, that's a compliment. And I always usually jokingly say, well, you do now. Right? We know each other now. We've been on the phone for 3 minutes. Right? So, but talk in a way that they know you're interested. Ask open-ended questions. Dig deep. Right? And then the last one is stay informed and educated. Always, always be working on your craft. I look at it as that, a lot of these diseases, Alzheimer's and, all that stuff is, if you keep your mind active, the chances of you getting that go down tremendously. Reading, listening, obviously working out, eating right. So a lot of those things can be, you can avoid them by keeping your mind active and on to the next thing. All right, so there you go. That's my top 5 things of being a successful real estate agent. I think some of them even would be transferable to life. Does anybody have any questions? Don't be shy. *6 to unmute yourself. *6 to unmute yourself. I've explained it so succinctly that no one has a question. I never believe that, by the way, just so you know. I just think you don't want to unmute yourself. There's no bad questions either. They're all good. All right, guys. Well, there you go. Hopefully that helps. If I can help with anything, please let me know. I always have room in my coaching. Remember that. All you have to do is email my assistant, Lisa, Lisap, Lisa P, at bhhsnv.com. We'd love to have you guys get in there. I actually have a couple one-on-one spots open, too, for the little more experienced agents, but I have a few open in my group, which is the beginner one. And even in my high intensity, I have a couple of spots, right, which is the high intensity is every week plus a group call every other week for a half hour where everybody gets to talk. They're fun. It's fun. If you really want to, that's really for the person who's doing okay, but really wants to commit to going to the next level. That's kind of what that group is made up of. All right, guys, keep it rocking. If you need me, call me anytime. Thank you for your time.